governor exercises no legislative powers. It's well decided. He is part of a legislative process. He exercises no legislative powers. That's a very important distinction. The impression given because he is part of a legislative process, therefore he is also exercising some legislative powers.
The condition is that he is also a part of the legislature. That in a bicameral house, the legislature consists of the two houses and the governor, and a unilateral legislative assembly and the governor.
To the extent that obviously Manoj, when he receives a bill, gives an assent, before which it doesn't become an act, he's part of a legislative process. Therefore, the legislature consists of one house plus second house plus governor's assent. To that extent, I have no problem. But to add to that he exercises indirectly by virtue of the first point, any legislative function or power is constitutionally fallacious.
So for the first time in the history of constitutional law in this country, your lordships would hold that the will of the people need not be implemented because the governor chooses to withhold the bill. It's a proposition which is unaccepted under any principle of constitutional law. It cannot be. Why? If you look at the theme of the Constitution throughout, in respect of the executive chapter in relation to states, or the executive chapter in relation to union, you will find that the executive at no stage has any legislative power. If it comes to the executive in the union, the president will act on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. President has no individual function. When it comes to the state, the governor will act on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. The governor has no individual function. If at all, the governor has two functions which are somewhat different under the Constitution itself, which is 356. But that's a recommendatory function. It's not a decisive function. The governor will recommend that the functioning of the state is such that that cannot function under the provisions of the Constitution. Who decides? The Government of India.
Download the SEC online app to stay informed and empowered.